All right, this is exciting. This is episode 1 of Around the Flywheel. I have brought on the team. We got Carolyn in here. We got Corey in here. I'm super, super excited for episode 1. I kind of want to preface a little bit about what the show is going to be like. We are going to lead off with a trivia question for anybody that wants to watch. It's going to be, who knows what it's going to be around. It could be marketing, it could be business, it could be a current event in the world, but we're going to have a trivia question to lead off the day, and then we're going to flow into the actual guts of the show, which on Around the Flywheel, it is an opinion-based show, which hopefully all of us have some pretty good opinions. We'll see. Corey might have a few that I'm not going to side with, but we'll find out. So we're going to go through a topic and really just get our perspective on each of the questions, in which we'll then roll into a would you rather game of certain scenarios in marketing and business as well. And then at the end, we'll wrap it up giving you guys the answer to the trivia question. And maybe in the future, we'll give a prize away. But for episode 1, which will probably have very small viewership of, we don't want to give away a prize quite yet. So let's kick this off with introductions. Carolyn, tell the crowd a little bit about you and what you do at Dippidi.
So I'm Carolyn. I am the Google Ad Specialist at Dippidi. So I take care of the Google ads, Google display ads, YouTube ads, and everything in between.
Yes, I love it. And you do a damn good job of it too. You do a great job.
Thank you.
Corey, who are you?
Hey guys, I'm just a random guest today, filling in for the cool people here that are with us. But my name's Corey. I'm a co-founder here at Dippidi. With that title, a lot of things come and make it fun, and we got a great staff that really helps with everything that we do. But a lot of the things that I really help on is a Facebook media buyer side. So I focus a lot on what can get us results on the Facebook platform. How can we make graphics really pop day in and day out? The trivia question later, you'll see how many ads actually a person sees a day. So a lot of the challenge on our end is to make sure our ads stand out. So I'm excited for that trivia question. I already took a peek at it. So
yeah. Hey, well, and you know what? Well, it's episode 1. We'll let Corey spill the beans. So the trivia question of the day is, do you know how many ads does the average American see per day? I'll be honest, I have no idea. So I imagine it's quite a bit, but I have not the slightest idea of what it is. I don't know if either of you do.
I know it's a higher number than I initially thought, but I don't want to say the answer this soon. I want people to have an opportunity to guess at it and then maybe drop a comment below. But it's an astounding number, and it's actually kind of scary to recognize how many ads the average person sees a day and how we even have the ability to think after seeing this many. So you'll be shocked at the number when it comes out.
Carolyn, what are your thoughts? Do you got any guesses?
Guesses. Definitely over 500.
Okay. I like that. I agree with that.
When I drive, the water bottles, I'm having a snack and the label. Okay, so over 500. That's my...
Oh, right there. Chipotle, of course. Corey's got Chipotle. The guy's obsessed. Yeah. All right. Let's kick off the game. Let's kick it off. We're on Around the Flywheel. All right. So let's go first question, and we'll just rotate answers and get your perspective on it and see what you think in the world of marketing. So let's kick it off. What things should you have in place before starting your marketing?
Carolyn, I'll let you take that one first.
Okay, so this one I have 5 and a bonus that I think are totally, totally important. So first, you need a website that is live. That's super important. Maybe something like Agent Fire, Chime, Sierra Interactive, KB Core is really great. Then you need an IDX. Definitely a CRM, so we can have leads coming into that CRM. You can handle them from there, sort them out to your agents, whatever. Then for Google, you'll need Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager. Absolutely important. Then before you start spending money, you need well-defined goals. So that's my bonus one. You need to know what your goals are and what your budget are, so you can tick that off, know if you've achieved it, and go from there.
I love that. Yeah, I think the first thing that you have to have in place before doing marketing is a well-defined goal. I don't even know if that's a bonus. To me, I think that is a must-have. Yeah, that's the prerequisite. You need to know what your goal is, because that will determine what route you take with your marketing, because there are so many different things you can do. You could be doing graphic design because maybe you don't want to be on video. Maybe you don't want to be on video. You want to do written form. You want to do more blogging. I mean, it really does define what you're going to do by having a goal in place first. So I think before anything, goal comes first, and then all the different things that will follow.
Yeah, I kind of want to piggyback off of what Carolyn said. She nailed all the big ones. Got to have a good website. Got to have a CRM. You got to make sure those website and CRMs integrate with some of these systems. A lot of the times I see people when they kind of get initiated into whatever realm they are, whatever industry they are in, they try to go for a cost-effective platform. And sometimes the cost-effective platforms, they don't have that capability that's needed within the marketing spectrum. But with that being said, there's a lot of things that you guys touched on within the budgeting. When you start marketing, there's two things that I usually like to ask our clients, and that is, are you more focused on branding or are you more focused on lead gen? That kind of dictates the question of, well, how much budget should I really have? And what do I need to spend to start maybe marketing effectively? So that's where that question kind of begins, is to how much budget do you certainly have? And then that can kind of dictate the lead gen versus branding mentality. And then it's just kind of a trickle down effect from there in terms of the platform you want to be on: Google, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think we all collectively agree. Definitely goals, but definitely that website, CRM, IDX, you need to have in place, and they need to be speaking to each other and integrated, or you're going to have a very unorganized lead generation strategy in place. All right, let's kick it off with the next one. So, should my ad budget prevent me from doing advertising on multiple channels, or should I focus on one channel with a limited budget? So this is a beefy question. One, it's talking about multiple channels here. So for me, when I see this, I'm sitting here thinking, well, what do they mean by multiple channels? And multi-channel advertising means that you're putting your content and distributing it across multiple platforms. That could be Google, that could be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, if you want to go in there, LinkedIn, TikTok. There's all these different channels. Your email. You could use physical, more traditional marketing, and you could have a billboard, radio, TV, mailers. There's all of these different channels out there. And should my ad budget prevent me from doing multi-channel? I would say no. There's many opportunities out there where you could have a more cost-effective multi-channel strategy. You may not be able to do all of the above, but you can mix a couple multi-channels out there. So that way people are perceiving you in the market with a little bit more of "I see you everywhere" phenomenon going on.
I'm going to disagree on that.
Oh,
Here's where I think I'm not going to disagree. I think it's a great point. If you're everywhere, that is where you're going to get your customer to see you. They're going to actually come up to you and be like, man, they come up to you in the grocery store. They come up to you when you're walking the lake. I've seen you everywhere. What is your story? How are you doing it? That, from that side of things, I think is absolutely beneficial. But where I see also an avenue that could make sense for a lot of people is leaning in on their strengths. Like, we know certain clients and customers that are super good on video. So maybe that's where they lean in at first. It just really depends upon the budget again and which channel you want to be on. But if they're very good on video and they present well and they just seem like they like have that Bay News 9 look to them, where they're just stringing out the stuff on broadcast, I think they go in on that. That could be strictly YouTube ads, or that could be, running video remarketing ads on Facebook. I think they lean on their strengths and how they present. But if there's somebody that wants to be everywhere and at all times, then I think if they have a limited budget, they can kind of dictate where they need to go. But if they do indeed have a limited budget, I would say maybe try to focus on your strength. And is that video? Is that graphic? Is that Google PPC, where you're going to try to get quality leads? Do you just focus on branding, where you want to have a few videos running on Facebook? Kind of can dictate your question here and there based upon what your strengths are.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I think that there's pros and cons to both, but I will say you can't afford not to advertise. So you've got to do something. But I agree with Corey in the sense that, the same as life and marketing, you can't spread yourself too thin where you're doing so many things that you're not good at least one thing.
Right.
You be good at the one thing, I think, and then go from there.
I like it. I mean, I agree with the perspective. I think that there's ways that you can trickle in both, but if you're good at something, double down on it and then diversify. All right. So if I wanted to expand in TikTok ads, what type of content would I create? Now, this is kind of going over advertising on TikTok, not necessarily just posting on TikTok. So interested to see what perspective you guys have here.
when I look at TikTok ads, I'm always intrigued because I can really quickly tell it's an ad. I'm one of those people that I spend an hour and a half easily right before bed on TikTok. I'm just one of those people that love the comedy skits. I love when you get the stand-up comedies broken down to 45 seconds where you get their best one-liners. And then usually as I go 3 or 4 down, I see that sponsored ad. And I immediately typically know that it's a sponsored ad because of how aggressive they are in nature. Like if it's a sunglasses company, like they're immediately pushing the unique value proposition. I think it's a little bit similar to how we see like Instagram Reels. And that's more so I'm talking in the organic sense where it's 45 seconds. It's quick, just kind of discussing exactly what they're trying to get at, if that's a service, if that's a product they're trying to sell, or if it's just humor. So for me, I'm interested in TikTok ads and what's performed extremely well. I want to do some research as to what performs better or the other. I personally love when it's, somewhat comedic relief mixed in with, some way that it solves a problem with the customer. But I would say probably 45-second videos that educates, informs, or in some fashion just kind of provides a little bit of entertainment that gets people interested in leaning in and maybe gets them to a website to then try to create a conversation or create a sale.
Yeah. I was thinking on TikTok, we're obviously targeting the younger demographic. So that's probably a first-time home buyer. So I was thinking of things that would like kind of maybe educate them in some regard. I know it's still a sponsored ad, but you can say like, hey, like check out this resource, such and such. And then also one I like is a story time. I see that a lot with like some sponsored posts for like agents and ad. And they're talking about like, oh, one time, this happened and such and such. And that could even just be like agents speaking to other agents. But that's like, that's intriguing for even me.
Yes, I like it. So to me, if I were to want to expand in TikTok ads, you guys spoke on two things here that I liked. One was education, and Corey, the other one you made was like almost like creating this authentic feel on the platform where you don't want it to be like the sunglasses company that Corey used in his example where it just immediately felt like an ad. So I think you need to try to hybrid it. And you could do where you lead with a good hook that's more of an educational hook. Maybe it's about, did you know that you can not have to put down 20% to afford a home? And you can do a quick nugget on that where you can kind of give them the beef of that question, and then end it with a call to action that I think could drive somebody off the platform. So that may be, if you're talking about a down payment, you're more than likely talking to a buyer. And just as Carolyn said, maybe it's a first-time home buyer. Well, let's educate them on the not having to put 20% down on their first home, and then drive them to the newest listings within a certain price range on your IDX website. And when they go off of TikTok, you now have a registration page there to collect that information. So now you can actually use TikTok as a lead generation platform. And also, if somebody doesn't make it all the way to the end and actually do the call to action, at least you still gave them some form of education and value without them having to take that hard call to action. So to me, that's probably what I would do on TikTok is educate, hook them in, educate, and then a hard call to action to give them something of value off the platform.
Love it.
So how does pairing Google search and Facebook and Instagram benefit your business? I think this is going to be a cool one with you too, because Corey, you have a lot more experience on the Facebook side of things. Carolyn, you have a lot of experience on the Google side of things. So it's almost like this two-headed monster. So I want to hear your perspectives on what happens when you yin and yang it and bring them together.
Carolyn, I'll let you take that one to start.
So I think between Google and Facebook, with enormous reach, we can advertise and reach basically everyone. Like whether they're scrolling on social media, they're going to see it. Whether we have intent to search on Google, they're going to see it. So we've got like audiences we can gauge, prospects. Google search, like I said, will target by intent. And then social media will kind of target more by their interests and kind of sneak in a little branding there while they're just going through their everyday feed. So I think we can generate both quality and quantity leads between Facebook and Google. So obviously higher intent maybe on Google, and then maybe a little more quantity from Facebook. So we'll see what Corey has to say.
No, I agree 100%. I think Google is I always like to think of Google as like the starting point, the number one, strictly out of the fact that it is higher intent. It's people that are actually going on Google and searching homes for sale near me or homes for sale in my city, wherever you might be located. To me, that's where you want to start, because you actually have a customer or a prospect that's looking and they're doing the work of actually searching. That's harder to accomplish on Facebook. So the way that I like to do it is Google. If we're actually bidding on keywords that we know people are searching for and they're landing on the website now, that is so powerful because it does two things. One, we just got a lead on the Google side that it shows high intent. But let's say they're 6 months out from potentially wanting to do any form of business, buy or sell, or in any other industry trying to maybe sell a product. What's happening at that point is, if they are 6 to 12 months out, how do we continue to stay in front of them and continually to nurture them to still create those conversations and make it feel like, hey, we're here with you through your whole journey. Even though you're not ready right now, we don't want to just forget about you. So that's where I think Facebook has that beautiful backside, where I think at number 2 is it's a supporting mechanism. Now that that said lead came in, they're 6 to 12 months out, we have them as a lead. But Facebook, what I like about it is we can create graphic designs that might tailor to what they initially came in as. So if it was indeed homes for sale in your local area, we can have graphics of showing another type of safe search, at homes for sale in your area with pools, or homes for sale in your area that offer, something like nightlife. Wherever your market is, you lean on the strong suits of that market and you market on Facebook because it's visually aesthetically pleasing. So people, it's like window shopping, just like any other consumer. Whenever we go to Dillard's or something here in the local mall, we see it, we like it, but we might not buy it, and we shop through the mall a little bit longer, and then we come back and we're like, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. It's the same thing on Facebook. It's just a little bit month attached to it. So the visual side, Facebook allows you to see it, to comprehend that, oh, maybe I do want to take a little another look at this and have an opportunity to close some deals later on. So it's a great yin and yang. And if your budget supports it, I absolutely recommend an omni-channel approach. Austin was talking about multi-platforms earlier. Yep. This is the proponent in it. It's the fact that you get somebody that's searching, but they're not quite ready, but then you're nurturing and retargeting and remarketing in front of them so they continue to see exactly what they initially searched. And it takes 3 to 5 times for somebody to see something before they start making that purchasing decision in their mind.
Yep, you're right. And it's cool because I like to think of Google, if you mix these two platforms, Google's the brain, and it's thoughts. You're investing and bidding on people's thoughts. They're intentionally searching something and researching a service out there. So to me, that's the brain. You're able to know what someone's thinking and get in front of them. Let's say you get 100 clicks off of that. You're bidding on that thought. They see your ad, they click it, you get 100 of them, and 10 of them become a lead. They fill out the registration form for homes for sale in a specific zip code. They want to see those homes. They give their information, and then they now get to see those homes. Lead goes in your CRM, and you now have an opportunity there to follow up with and see what's their pain. Are they moving now? When are they moving? But the 90 people that maybe clicked it and left, you need to find a way that you're not wasting that advertising budget on Google. And what are we doing in this world? We got to recycle, right? We do some recycling. So what can you do is you can recycle those 90 people that didn't go through your registration page, and you can recycle them on Facebook and Instagram by installing a Facebook pixel on your website and running what they call retargeting ads. There's so many custom audiences available on the Facebook and Instagram platform that allow you to stay in front of more behavior-based audiences. So people that visited a specific web page on your website, or visited your website in general, or maybe even your entire database you want to stay in front of, which may consist of Zillow leads, OpCity leads, Realtor.com, all these different lead sources that you can stay in front of and continue to nurture. So that way you're not wasting any of those ad spend that you paid for those leads. Let's try to get them to convert. So to me, you got Google as the brain, figuring out the thoughts of the people as they're driving to your site. And then you can remarket those people to stay in front of them, try to bring them back to become a lead. I think it's an amazing duo. And if you were to do 2 channels and I were to pick 2 channels, period, whether it's mailers, door knocking, email, whatever, I'm actually going Google and Facebook and Instagram and making sure I'm setting up the way to drive initial traffic that's intentional and then stay in front of those people to try to either get them to convert or re-engage them. So that way I can see it in the CRM as a salesperson who's calling these leads, and I know exactly what they're doing in their behavior as I'm reaching out to them.
Love it.
Let's fire off. So what content do I have at my disposal that I could leverage in my paid advertising? So there's a lot of, I'm assuming a lot of people here, they may go, okay, I want to do this. I want to make advertising. I want to do lead generation and marketing on these platforms, but do I even have content, or do I have to create content? What do I have right now at my disposal?
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people, depending on what brokerage they're at or what company they may work for, a lot of times they might already have marketing material and collateral they can probably leverage.
Mhm.
Especially if you already have a website, that's really the telltale sign. Like what I like to tell people that might be getting their feet wet and dipping into the pool for the first time is go through your website and some of the pages, your web pages that you feel tells the story as to what you're trying to accomplish. If your company solves a problem for your end user, what can you leverage on your website that speaks to them directly? And start there. That's what I'd call your landing page. So maybe to get somebody to land on that, that's when the wheels can start spinning to dictate what do I have that could speak to that customer that I can leverage. A lot of the times it's YouTube videos. People have been creating YouTube videos for the last 5 to 10 years. They might have videos on hand that they can see if they can make it leverage and work. Could be blog content if they've been writing blogs through their company for the last few years that has probably had some great SEO built up. It might be great to now leverage it on the paid advertising side to get more traffic to your website, to your landing pages, so that way they can start that conversation. So I'd always say probably look for videos that you may have created in the past. Look at trending reels and audios. Have you created anything like that recently? And then really look at your website and your landing pages. Is there anything in there that you would say that this is what I do categorically for my clients? And if you can leverage a piece of content on front to get to them, then that's exactly where I would probably recommend you start.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing that every agent should already have are professionally shot listing images. So that's something that can be turned into attractive display ads on Google or a listing promo on Facebook even. And I think that's super valuable. And you're already doing it. Like you've already paid to have those images taken. So why not use them as much as you can?
Yep. I think another one is you may or may not have an IDX website, but like we said in the questions before starting marketing in real estate, you should have one. So if you have an IDX website, you have an endless amount of products on that website that are listings out there that are available on the MLS right now.
Mhm.
So that's one piece of content you can use where you can create exclusive list of homes for sale. And try to manipulate to that IDX search to something that's popular in your area, whether it's a price point, a zip code, an amenity, a specific city, an entire county. You have that all at your disposal. And then the other thing would be testimonials. Chances are you've collected or received a review if you are in business, period. So if you've received this testimonial, maybe you got it on your Google My Business page, maybe you collected it on Zillow or Facebook, maybe you just have an email that somebody sent you and they praised you in your work. Take that testimonial and use it. Put it in a graphic. You can use Canva, make a graphic on Canva, and that way you can now have an ad created that has a testimonial. If you're taking pictures at the closing table with that client and they agree that you can use it, now you have a photo that you can use in that graphic design as well with the written testimonial. It's just a way to build trust, and it makes a great remarketing ad if you're running a Google campaign to then remarket those people on Facebook and Instagram, so you can show that, hey, I'm actually out here working in the market and you can trust me. And I hope that this testimonial builds a little layer of trust with us, so that way you have more interest in learning about how I can serve you while you're buying or selling. I think you got the IDX right there for your disposal, and you have testimonials more than likely at your disposal to be able to use in content. All right, so I think that wraps up the Around the Horn game, but now we're going to play a little Would You Rather. So let's kick it off. These are interesting questions, and I want to see what your perspectives are on would you rather do this or that. If you could only have one, would you rather have Google or Facebook ads? I know this one for you two, I hope doesn't create a fight.
Carolyn, I'll let you go first to do this game because I wanna combat you when I can.
Not because I'm biased at all, but Google.
100%.
Google.
And why is that?
I think that Google just helps the most. Yes, branding is great, but we could do display ads for branding on Google. So I think that it probably has the most comprehensive reach and ability for your business, whether it's a search campaign, a display campaign, or a video campaign. We can do it all over here.
Corey, what's your thoughts? What's yours?
That is tough to beat. But the reason I like Facebook is because I feel like it's actually a little bit more cost effective. Is the targeting not as strong? You can make that argument, absolutely. But I do feel like with Facebook, you can leverage videos, you can leverage cost per views, cost per clicks at a lower price point, and you can leverage that remarketing in a great way because you can, Austin was alluding to it, website traffic, I can do based off of video views. So if you watched a video view for maybe 75% of the video or a certain time less, we can actually retarget to you based upon how long you watch that video. And I just like the visual branding. It's a different platform. Facebook, people are still on there wishing their grandmother's happy birthday. So I know they're still on it, depending on your demographic too. Like if your market shows that a certain age demographic is on certain platforms, that's when you can really make that distinction of what platform they're on. But I love the remarketing side of Facebook, and I feel it's a little bit more cost effective in terms of the cheaper in terms of views and reach.
I like it. So it's tough for me, but I'm gonna go with Google. I'm gonna go with Google just because of what I said a little earlier. Of it's the brain and the fact that I can know what someone's thinking based off of what they're searching online and put myself in front of them. And actually, if you got enough money, you can bid to where you're almost practically number one every single time. So. I got Google where I know I can get in front of the right person at the right time from an advertising standpoint. All right. Would you rather generate 1,000 cold leads or 5 qualified leads?
That's a tough one.
I'm kicking this one off.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I say 1,000 cold leads, but only because I do have the mindset of a more longer term game of how many can I turn these 1,000 cold leads into. And also if I'm a marketer and I'm going to build a marketing machine, I know that I'm going to continue marketing. So I'd actually rather have right now 1,000 people enter my database that I can now remarket on Facebook and Instagram, remarket on a Google display campaign, remarket on YouTube. I can send out emails of maybe blogs and just nurture them and just continuously try to stir that up. I think I could turn that 1,000 cold leads into 20 deals.
Yeah, I think it's all in the follow-up. If you feel like you have a strong follow-up cadence on the backside of your systems, 1,000 cold leads all day. Because if you have agents calling those leads, having them on action plans, having some type of AI follow-up, if you are working those leads and they're not just letting them sit there for 6 months and only reaching out to them one time, the numbers are going to say, take the 1,000 leads just because it's 2% of 1,000. Check my math, Austin. Is that 20 leads that could technically close?
I think you're right. Yeah. Way to put me on the spot like that. Yeah, 20 leads. Yeah, 2% is 20. So even 1% is 10.
Right.
10 beats 5 all day. And those 10, if you did get 1%, can turn into referral source. So how many did that turn into? What's that blossom into?
Good point.
Carolyn?
Yeah, so I agree with the both of you. I hate to go same all the way, but I think you just have so much more potential. Like you said, you can fill up your entire CRM. You can fill up your pipeline with 1,000 cold leads. Sure, you've got 5, but like you said, 1% is still more than 5.
Yep.
So I think you're better off with 1,000 cold leads.
Yeah, I'm excited for this next question. Carolyn, I don't know what you're going to answer here, but would you rather go without Instagram for a week or go without coffee for a week?
Okay, I'll go first. This one's tough, but been into tea lately. So I think
Oh.
I think I can't live without Instagram.
Oh, interesting. I like it. Mine is or Instagram. I'm going without Instagram.
Wow, okay.
I am a full-blown coffee addict. I probably have an uncomfortable amount of coffee a day that the average human consumes. So if I stopped it for a week, I don't even know if I would exist anymore. I might diminish.
Yeah, I think that's where Austin and I are complete polar opposites. He drinks the amount of coffee that I should drink, and I never drink any. So I feel like I'm definitely going without coffee for sure. Because Instagram, I mean, if you were to look at my screen time on my phone, I'm pretty sure I average like 4.5 hours of Instagram a day. And
Oh my gosh.
it's a healthy amount. So if you guys got any help articles, please send them my way.
Send them to Instagram.
All right. This is a fun one. Would you rather audit a list of 10,000 search terms that come in from a broad match keyword, or have to go on Facebook ad support because 3 ad accounts were flagged by their automated system?
Yeah, support anytime is going to be tough. That's why we like to never let our clients do it, because I can understand their frustration. Carolyn and I have separate answers. Thankfully, when I deal with the Facebook ad support, I usually have the ability to get on a chat, which is got some benefit, but I would not recommend it for anybody. So they're both pretty tough. They're both pretty tough.
Carolyn,
What's just your answer?
I guess I'd say Facebook ad support, because that's the only one I really know how to do. I'd have to leave you on the Google side in terms of that.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm comparing this to Google ad support. And in that case, I think I'll audit a list of 10,000 search.
Yeah,
I just know what that list looks like from a broad match. And it's a lot, but so is Google support.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take the 10,000 search terms all day is what I would rather do. Just because the fact that even if I get on with Facebook ad support or Google ad support, I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna get my answer right there, and it might turn into a not even 3-day job, but like 14-day job. So I think I'd rather do the search terms.
Yeah.
All right. So, this would be an awkward one. I don't know what you'll feel on this, but would you rather slide into the DMs of 150 friends, pitching them your company, or make 150 cold calls to inbound leads?
Go ahead, Austin. I want to hear your perspective on it.
That's a tough one. I'm probably going to do the 150 phone calls. One, because I'm hoping I don't have to pitch my friends on my company. Maybe my remarketing's handling that for me in a like a scaled out non-salesy way, where I can then go on do 150 cold calls and maybe get 10 more friends. That's my guess. That's my answer.
Interesting. Slide into the DMs of 150 friends. I always feel so spammy when I do that, but I like to do that. 150 cold calls, I feel like is just, I think especially as we get into like the millennial generation, that seems more kind of like hands off and almost not as natural. I think just kind of our texting, our generation typically likes to have some form of communication on social media. So I feel as we kind of continue to evolve in a tech-based world, it's more natural to slide in the DMs of 150 friends. But it could be on the reverse side, where you make 150 cold calls, you stir up a relationship, and then you follow up on the DMs. But if I had to pick one, I'm going sliding in those DMs for sure.
Wow, nice.
I think I'm a little more shy than Corey. I'm with Austin. Hopefully our remarketing is hitting right now. And I'm going to make 150 cold phone calls. Even if they hang up on me, I'm going to call those 150 people.
I like it. All right. So, I mean, that wrapped up the Would You Rather game. And now we are actually answering the trivia question and then wrapping up the show. So the question was, do you know how many ads does the average American see per day? The answer to that question, Corey, you found this question, right?
I believe so. I did. Yeah.
Fire off that answer right there.
So according to Zippia.com, the average American is exposed to anywhere from 4,000 to 10,000 ads per day, which is nearly double from the average ads that the average person saw just in 2007.
Yeah,
4,000 ads is absolutely insane. And that's on the bottom minimum there. That is incredible to think we see 4,000 brands and marketing pitches and strategies in a 16-hour day. If we were sleeping 4-8, that's just incredible to me. That how does our head not explode is really what my question is.
So you believe, if we're awake 16 hours, that's 250 ads an hour.
Right.
I thought 500 was a lot. This is blowing it out of the water.
Wait a second. That means you see 4 ads a minute. That's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, you guys ever listen to Delilah on 94.9?
Yeah, greatest, softest voice in the world. Like the best, yeah, one of the best voices of all time. But maybe the best. She beats Howard Stern in broadcasting.
Yeah, whatever the ad she has, because I'll be listening to her when I'm doing some work. So, I don't know, but that's an incredible stat. So that's just kind of why you got to have an omni-channel approach, in my opinion, because not only are you going after the high intent on Google, but remarketing on Facebook, you got to find a way to beat your competition. And if it's just passive type of ads, you got to be consistent, you got to be recurring, and you got to have something that sticks and stands out.
I like that, because think of it this way too, just like what you said there with the multi-channel. Let's say that you're 2 of the 4 ads they saw in an hour of the day, because they go from Google, they leave Google, they go to Facebook and Instagram because they spend 6 hours a day on it, like Corey does, and boom, there you are. So now, just from them leaving Google and going to Instagram, which is probably a natural progression nowadays, they're gonna immediately see you right after that and be like, bang bang, 2 of the ads that they're gonna see in their day in 1 hour and probably 10 minutes is you. So I mean, that's pretty impactful stuff.
Then imagine sliding in those 150 DMs right after.
Oh my gosh!
Now you have 2 out of the 4 and you're in their DMs. That's the trifecta.
Yeah, you got to be careful. If I get flagged and reported soon enough, who knows?
Well, then we can do the 3 ad accounts on Facebook and support. And I can teach you how that looks.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, this was fun. I think this was a successful episode 1 of Around the Flywheel. We're going to be doing this monthly, so we will see you next month. This kind of wraps up the show.
That was my Around the Flywheel piece.
I love it. See y'all later.
You guys.